Hello. Welcome to the final session of the Site 42 playtest. Regardless of what happens in this session, it will end one way or another because the final countdown box is going to be ticked by the end of the session. And uh, it might just get resolved before then as well. Hopefully, or maybe not hopefully. I don't know. I'm down for either. uh, where we left off, we had just kind of finished learning about the uh, past of Officer Lafayette and his multiple attempts at nuking sites under Sun control. And we also sent the goon squad out to go and figure out how to travel to other dimensions. And I think we figured that out. They figured that out. We'll decide what it is together here in a moment. As far as conditions go, Field Commander General Gilbert Burns still has no conditions, which is a surprise. Lead researcher Imogen Cerulean has Haunted by the Memory of Harley. Operations Administrator Superintendent Irina Jarvis has Employee of the Month, Someone Has to Do It, and Afraid with 2 question marks. I know what that means. And Officer Lafayette, the security enforcer, has the Darkness of Sandy as a tier 1 fear condition. So we're going to start off in the research phase here.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I had an idea for just a quick scene. It's not like a move or anything. It's just a quick scene that I thought would be really cool. Would you mind if I had like a quick 2-minute scene?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So, this is going to take place kind of this is in Arena's apartment, and it's the middle of the night where Arena makes all of their best decisions. And obviously, there's going to come a twist that I think is cool, but Burns, if you don't think it's cool, you have complete veto power. So just as a heads up. Okay, so it's the middle of the night, and we have in the past already described some of the things that Arena Jarvis feels very intensely as we just called them the meat sweats at one point, which we took that to mean multiple different things, but it is the dead of night, and Superintendent Jarvis is not able to sleep for reasons of thinking back on events, the sweaty and passionate events with General Burns, and for the first time gets desperate enough to actually pull out the tapes that Superintendent Jarvis tends to illicitly film other people with. And this is the very first time that they've actually ever pulled them out and watched them again. But there was a moment that Arena cannot stop thinking about when they were being roughly held down with Burns' hand covering their eyes completely, and they cannot stop thinking about it. And so, for the first time, alone in their apartment, lit only by the glow of the monitor, Arena watches that tape, and it is one of the most terrifying and hottest things that they have ever seen. And we see in this moment of no dialogue or anything, you can see just a change come over Jarvis, where they are stuck in their feelings. They are growing legit feelings for General Burns, that this is the hottest, coolest thing that they've ever done. And also, they have massively breached their trust by the fact that they have this recording in the first place. And when this realization happens on the screen, the image of Burns turns around and looks at the camera and does a double take and looks at it and makes eye contact with Arena. And there is shouting that can't be heard because there wasn't sound recorded. And Arena shuts the monitor off and shuts the tape, everything, shuts it down, and is left completely freaking out, shaking, with a huge mix of emotions. And that's the scene. The big thing that I was thinking, like the big veto point, is that like this other instance of Burns, like is this other sorry, but that this other instance of Burns is not necessarily connected to the actual Burns, and so they don't necessarily know what's happening, but like having recorded another instance of Burns creates another instance of Burns trapped inside the tape. That was my thought. Anyway,
I think that's pretty cool. We'll go over that again once Chaotic gets back, but I think that's pretty fucking neat and weird and scary and awful.
Yeah, I figured weird, scary, awful is my brand right now.
Hell yeah. So this is the research phase. We
I
can.
guess that was a kind of research Rita was doing.
Yeah, to some sort. All right, we can do the team move here, but we've already got everything done as far as that would go. So I don't know that you'd actually need to do that, because also we wouldn't really. It would resolve at the end of the session. So I'm just going to say that all of you can have all of your available or unavailable or assigned team members will come back to you, and you'll have them all available, and you can call on them during this last session.
I think I sent them the last time to search for the department where my ex-wife is, in what hospice, in what mental institution is my ex-wife. You remember? I sent them to search for that.
They weren't able to find anything. Sun has covered up the tracks very well. The reason for that is because we would need to do another project for that, and there's simply not enough time. Were it a longer game, then I'd be like, yeah, that's absolutely a cool story beat that we will go and explore, but we just don't have the time for it, unfortunately. So yeah, everyone is going to have all of their people unassigned and available, unless they're dead. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Hello, Chaos. Okay. So real quick, we're gonna go over what we just talked about with the scene, and that's all right. You can you can type for now. I'll read out what you say in this instance, just because it's a little important, but it's not necessarily like it's important, but we don't like we need to hear it, but we don't need to like hear it from. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I don't know. My brain is scrambled today. But everyone's staff members are all unassigned now, so you can do with them what you will during the session. We're not going to really do a staff move just because there wouldn't be a mechanical purpose in it, and it would just serve to make things unavailable that you wouldn't have access to during the finale, for really no reason. But yeah, Kyle, would you like to go over those implications again for chaotic?
Yes. So just in case where you cut out, the idea was mainly that there is another instance of Burns inside that tape that is not necessarily connected to actual Burns, but like is because they were recorded. It is now kind of like a separate instance that Jarvis now has trapped on this tape, and it is aware of the fact that it is now trapped on a tape and that the tape exists. And I just wanted to know if you thought that was interesting or cool and fit with anything. And if not, I am willing to change it.
Oh, that's I think that's a lot more dangerous than I think you're expecting it to be, because like I think I really need to talk about Burns freely right now, just because of like this other instance of Burns exists.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We're in the finale now.
Yeah. Kill me.
Yeah. General Burns is effectively sort of an idea that got made manifest, an imaginary friend that got way out of control because of the particular land that the real Burns grew up in, was a sort of like a hotspot for anomaly activity. General Burns, effectively, the original idea of this imaginary friend came from this idea of like little tin soldiers, just like lined up on like a windowsill
With their little tricorn hats.
Yeah, little tricorn hats and whatnot. And just because the idea grew so powerful, the little soldier realized that they were a little soldier, and then started to move out of its normal form, growing, massing, experimenting what it can do, even when not observed. This other instance, in my mind, can easily escape the tape.
Oh, for sure.
Excellent.
And has all the same exact abilities as the real other General Burns, so can most certainly try to destroy you. Or maybe, who knows, get in contact with General Burns. That would be weird.
Burns squared.
Burns squared.
What happens when Burns becomes Burns?
Capital Burns. I am totally
He
cool
becomes
with
third degree.
all of these risks and implications if you are.
Yes. Jarvis might not live the session, Steph. I'll be honest with that.
I mean, you might all get sacrificed anyways by the end of it, depending on if you don't succeed in containing the thing. So, you know, that's life.
Or the end of it.
Both. All right. So, what would you all like to do during this research phase? Because we can't actually finish off the resolution until the testing phase comes up. So this is a good time for you all to like prepare for what you need to do and discuss like what did all of your goons come back and find about, like, you know, transdimensional travel. Like what is all the plans and stuff for that? there probably won't be that many moves happening during this research phase, just because I imagine it'll mostly be narrative, which is fine. And then we'll go into our testing phase and stuff. Yeah, what would everyone like to get doing? And I will say that you can, I think, freely be either Burns at any moment. That just makes sense to me
Oh,
because like I don't know that they would necessarily have a direct link and know all the things that each of them know, but you can have scenes as either Burns.
Burns 1 and Burns 2. I will announce which Burns I'm at any moment because like I don't want the people to get confused.
Yep. Thank you.
Characters can get confused. That's fine.
I mean,
Burns Alpha and Burns Prime.
Burns and Side. Burns Side.
Snurb.
Snurb. Oh my god, that fucking one-off joke from ages ago is real.
Okay. In terms of what Journal Burns is normal Burns is going to like sort of like getting people ready, getting sort of like organizing the various teams and whatnot, because like this is sort of a field operation and like normal his business. Snurb, on the other hand, wants to infiltrate Site 42, so
Excellent. What's everyone else doing?
Well, Lafayette is going to talk to Sandy.
Ooh. And Dr. Cerulean, Superintendent Jarvis, what are you going to be doing?
I think Superintendent Jarvis is going to be setting up kind of like the central base of operations as their communications hub kind of thing, and making sure that we've got that they've got agents, you know, at pretty much every point of where this entire shindig is going to go down, basically, because like they're going to be the theoretical guy in the chair moment, like that's what Jarvis is planning on getting done right now. And so they're making sure that they have their network spread out to all the right places, as well as information and supplies going to the right just all the logistics and everything, while keeping everyone connected and keeping their finger on in every pie, basically.
All right. And Dr. Cerulean.
I think Dr. Cerulean is going to be setting up instruments to make sure she can get every reading possible for when they cross into this extra dimensional space. She might have a vested interest in other dimensions.
Excellent. All right. So I think that a lot of what happens is going to be dictated by this first scene here, because I think we need to know first and foremost what Snurb does. How does Snurb escape the tape? Chaotic. Oh, that's fine.
Snurb, the TV in Super Arena Jarvis's home turns on. It's static, but then it goes back to that scene. But then the tape itself changes, alters. Jarvis is no longer quote unquote in the tape. It's just Burns, and Burns is crawling up the wall, trying to get at this camera that sees him and is pushing his hand through, crawling out a la Ring style out of the TV. And sort of this almost plasticine pop noise comes when he tumbles into our reality. Huh. This is new. Wonder what's my other like? Can I connect from here? No. No, we're two different people. Or no, two different cells. That's what we are. But they won't like this. I won't survive for long. Site 42 wouldn't allow that. But I can coast for now. I can set things right. Get justice. And General Snurb will leave the apartment and start walking towards where Site 42 is.
Excellent. And what is General Burns doing at that moment?
General Burns has a clipboard in hand, is writing down notes, and just says, no, I know that the suits have not been delivered yet, but they will be here and shortly. We're just setting up the rest of the equipment for Dr. Imogen. If you need contacts, you would need to go through Super Arena Jarvis for any headsets, and just organizing things, delivery of things, and it's just going through normal business. Nothing has gone wrong in his reign.
Excellent. Superintendent Arena Jarvis.
Yep.
What does your weird spy network look like?
Well, we've established that I got the drones. I got drones on, that are mobile. I've got several people stationed at different places, mainly my newly available, just back from their different jobs. Sadly, Simon's back from vacation. Oh, hell yeah. Simon's with me. Simon's my gopher. I'm gonna have Simon in the booth with me. And if I need Simon to go do something, then I can send Simon. Simon's basically like my jungler. I'm going to make sure that Simon's able to go where Simon's needed. Everybody else, Manfred is in one place and Rolando's in the other. And Heartboil, sadly, I can't keep Heartboil with me in the booth, but that's all right. Heartboil's getting down and dirty where all of the actual meat chunks are hitting the fan, so to speak. So it looks like me in my office. In my office, just like at my desk with a billion monitors and cameras everywhere, and different people. I can bring up different monitors and stuff, and different view screens, all that. Just kind of connected it and talking to different people on lots of different. Sorry about that League of Legends reference. I didn't mean to bring the toxicity into the chat, but couldn't think of the concept of someone who their job is to be going wherever he's going. I could not remember what on earth that kind of thing was called other than
it's a temp. A temp, I believe.
Yeah. But that doesn't sound nearly as fancy as this is a very important role. That's why I only give it to Simon, who can't die.
True.
Anyway, yeah, it's if it makes
hate
more
that
sense,
I even know that was a League reference, honestly. I don't even play it. I just know it because my brother does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either, but I just like, oh, that's an interesting thing. You've got 3 lanes and one person who goes where they're needed. The jungler. Yeah. If it makes more sense to have this like network not at like in a field HQ rather than actual HQ, then
Oh no, this is
Um,
perfectly fine.
yeah, cool. Then I'm safe at headquarters. I've done enough field work exploring wombs and getting sweaty with the meats. So I'm ready to take a step back and sit in my command chair.
Excellent. Dr. Cerulean. What
me.
sort of devices are you setting up and where?
So remind me where we were planning to cross into this other dimension.
We hadn't. That's why I'm
We
asking
hadn't
you.
decided. Okay, cool. Um, well, given that, then I think probably some equipment inside the womb itself for sure. I have a sneaking suspicion that's probably where we're crossed over to. That just makes sense to me. Um, so yeah, like electromagnetic, yeah, word, electromagnetic frequency device, um, uh, Geiger counter, this kind of thing. Let's make sure as all our great stuff.
Did we lose? Did we lose you? You're quiet now.
Oh, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like just kind of a standard like detective equipment, like Geiger counters, EMF. Well, but hold on, what weird shit do I have on my sheet? I have so much weird shit. Uh, do. Let's see.
And you have the Helios comm.
Oh, that'll be fun. Why not? Let's talk to the sun inside the womb. That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, see if there's a sun in the other dimension or whatever.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
And then
Let's do
try and
that.
talk with a sun from another world. Yeah, that sounds like a fucked up idea for sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
So what does the Helios comm look like? I don't think we've actually discussed this yet. Let's paint the
I don't
scene
think so.
actually. What does the Helios comm look like, everyone?
One thing that sticks out to me is the surprising array of antennas that are connected to this device. So you get your normal like what looks like to be a miniature satellite dish, and then you've got your normal like cheap radio pull out antenna that click 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 click, and um there's also just a literal Enigma machine connected to it from World War II. Like it's kind of crazy how much stuff is on this thing, but it's a lot of antennas. It's weird.
I think instead of a big red button, it has a sun-shaped button, but it's like very much like children's toy happy sun face button that you press for it.
I think it has this because well, it maybe do another thing, but Lafayette discovered that has these old sounds like Police Academy that you can do, and he has his fun doing this, and he starts doing like these voices. You remember the Afro American guy from Police Academy, and he starts I'm Lafayette. I'm Lafayette. I'm Lafayette. He has like these pitch voices, and that's what his sounds.
It's despite all of this sort of high-tech technology, there is still these arcane symbols all around it, representing the ancientness of the sun. It has been here since the beginning. It has always seen us. It has always known us.
Love this. We got antennas, symbols, smiley faces, and silly sounds. That's all you need to make a device that can talk to the sun. I fucking love this game. Did a good job.
Lafayette goes, "Hello, Mr. Sun. I'm Lafayette. Hello, Mr. Sun. Lafayette," because it's just
Officer, this is a secure channel. I don't need you to keep all of that silliness. I mean, this is an important thing. You do not talk to the sun unless you are given express permission. Thank you. Over.
Yeah. Yeah, you're such a party pooper. Yeah, Lafayette out.
Please do not refer to your colleagues as party poopers around communications directed at the literal sun. Thank you. Over.
Okay, you rock in the world of the abnormal. Yeah, I'm from the Stone Age. I'm the detective Lafayette from the Stone Age. Goodbye. Over. Arena Jarvis.
Excellent. Officer Lafayette. I think that as you walk into the containment room that has Sandy in it, you see that all of this like meat and gristle stuff that she's been growing as she walks has sort of started to form. It looks like the containment room has been sort of turned into like a living room, but made of meat. There's a sofa, a love seat. There's a lamp that doesn't work, but it's all there, and it's all made out of this pulsating, gristly meat. And Sandy is sitting in an armchair with that smile that never leaves her face because she doesn't have a face except for the muscles and bones.
Hello,
And
my daughter.
She smiles in a way that you can tell she actually is now. Her eyes kind of wrinkle up a little bit. And she says, "Hello, Father."
Yeah, I've learned a thing or two about you, and since your mother, we don't have the clue, fucking idea where she is. I'm going to the sun. Would you like to come with me, like a trip, like father and daughter?
"Oh, I know where the mother is."
No. I mean, no. It's your mother, not. Well, it's like half your mother and half the mother that I don't know. But as I was saying, I've known. They've told me that I've tried to burn Site 42 like I don't know, like 100 times. And I was wondering, since I'm going to the sun, we could do like a little daughter and father excursion, because to bond, So just I totally come in terms with what reality is in this place. So and I don't know if you try to make some kind of evil fuck. I'm not in the mood for that. I'm just trying to lend you my hand and say, well, you have something in me from you, and I don't care what the fuck you think your mother is. Your mother is in the hospital. Your real mother. So, you're coming with me or not?
Sure. I don't
Okay.
know if your colleagues would appreciate that, but
Well, then,
it won't be difficult for me. I could have left at any time.
Wait. And he opens the communicator. Hello, Mr. Arena Jarvis. Talking here, Lafayette.
Lafayette, I've told you so many times.
No, wait. I'm coming with my daughter. It's okay, right?
What? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Make me room for one more because I'm coming with Sandy, with my daughter. The one we met. The one you helped me
No,
with.
I'm aware of who Sandy is, Lafayette. You don't need to. Wait, all
Okay,
right.
so play one more suit, please, Mr. Arena, Mrs. Day Arena Jarvis.
All right.
Because I'm coming with them. You're such a great guy.
Hold, please.
Okay.
And I put Lafayette on hold, and I get in contact with all the other team leads. Y'all, I got a situation here. Lafayette just said he wants to take Sandy and go to the other dimension with Sandy.
It's you're
on hold. Don't you talk here, Mr. Lafayette.
It's a father and daughter trip.
Okay.
You can't put people on hold on radios, Jarvis. That's not how they work.
I do it with my authoritative voice. You're on hold. You do not speak until I give you leave to speak on this dang channel.
Boring.
I don't think there's like Lafayette. I think it's just gonna do anything that he wants, regardless of what you say. At least that's my 2 cents on it. Like, I would rather be known about whether or not he's actually going through with this or not, just so like it doesn't interfere with any of this equipment. Worst case scenario, Sandy gets stuck in the alternate dimension because we did not actually plan for her to travel across. So who knows? She also has a little bit of control of the place. I've seen her try to like order some stuff out of the vending machine before, so it's not exactly she's contained.
Well, okay.
I mean, if she gets trapped in the other dimension, that feels like a classic two birds.
Okay. All right. Well,
Listen to the people. Listen to the people.
All right.
The voice of the people.
I think that Sandy grabs the radio from you, Officer Lafayette, and says, "I'll be good, I promise."
Well, hot
Yeah,
damn,
that's my
that has
daughter.
convinced me. The creepiest person in the room just said the creepiest possible thing in the creepiest way. Damn, it's a great idea now. All right. This is what we're doing. I think everybody's right. This makes sense as a containment procedure. So, you know, it sucks to change the plan at the 11th hour, but here's what we're doing. Lafayette, you get a suit. Sandy, put Sandy back on. Sandy, do you need a suit? You don't need a suit, do you, Sandy?
No.
That's my girl.
Damn, why did you say that so God damn. Why'd you say that so creepy? All right, well, okay. Here's the thing.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, my daughter. Don't be sorry, Sam.
No,
She's just smiling the whole time.
You just, Lafayette, you gotta teach that girl. No, you let that girl take the lesson of the manners that she got. Sandy, your apology is appreciated. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. All right, now, Lafayette, you promised to be good while you're out there, or we ain't bringing you back. All right, you got to understand that this is a volatile situation, but you know what? I'm a sucker for families, so you go have it. What?
I knew you would understand it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right,
you're a family guy.
You know, there's a whole theme song about me and a television show I don't like very much, but I am the family. All right. We're gonna do this.
Probably there's the family guy. Start singing. And his name is
laugh and cry. Anyway, all right. Well, that means I need to order a couple of truckloads of shit to go other places. So this is the plan. Please don't change it anymore. We got less than 4 to 5 minutes before it's go time. So I'm gonna get some people on the horn and move some things around. All right, thank you. And I go to get on the horn and move things around.
Excellent. Snurb,
God dang it.
you are at the donut shop. The donut shop that you know has the elevator that leads further down into Site 42.
Mm-hmm.
Let's paint the scene. How can we tell that this donut shop doesn't make any sales?
For a starter, there's no donuts like on the shelves.
There is a layer of rust on the back side of the machines. So not the front facing machinery that's used in the back of the kitchen, everything that you can see from the customer standpoint is clean, pristine, looks like it's well used and well maintained. But if you go behind the counter at all and look at it from any direction that isn't publicly viewable, there's a layer of rust on all the places that don't usually get seen.
The fry oil is the most rancid fry oil in the universe.
The machines that have the syrup, there's this guy because no one is there, and this is this guy doing and putting his jello on his face, and because no one is there and no one is selling nothing, but the machines have jello.
Lovely. Snurb, you see this person drinking the syrup from the soda fountains that is, having at least memories of Burns up to a moment that this soda the syrup came with the fountain. This is that old shit, and this person is just drinking it down. They hear the little bell go off, and they kind of shoot up and wipe their face off. They have on what looks like it could be a uniform. It has the world's worst name tag on it. Like it looks like someone took a piece of paper, wrote their name, and taped it to their shirt. And they say, "Oh, hey, we're not. We don't have. Wait. Oh, hey,
Hey.
Burns. All right, don't tell site director Star I was drinking the syrup again, please."
No, I'm not the one that, you'll face the consequences on your own because that stuff's way too old.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator's still down that way.
Yeah. Yes. And I just give a little friendly wave as I head towards the elevator.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and then we will go to the break phase, I think. All right, let's go to the break phase. Do we have any moves that are resolved during the break phase? I don't.
I can technically.
Yes, but I don't think we have any that are specifically like a that.
I do.
That's right, you do. Your whole main thing.
Yeah, I get to at the beginning of the break phase decide whether or not you will be setting up your HQ. Yes, I will be doing it because we need sort of offshoot point of like what this other dimension is? Question mark. So so the question becomes of like, I want to send up a field office HQ in the other dimension. So like that's
So someone will probably have to be left behind there, is what you're saying.
yes.
Yeah, because then that way Sun still has at least some element of control back there. That makes sense. Yeah. Interesting.
Mhm.
So you have a couple of choices that you could do here, and I think all of them would dictate how that like setup is effectively controlled. Like that would effectively be the beginnings of a new site for Sun in this other dimension.
Mhm.
And that the person that you leave behind is effectively going to be the new site director for that site as a necessity of it being what it is.
Yes.
So the person that you pick will dictate how that thing gets set up and run. So I'm
Yes.
excited.
Yeah, I'm thinking since like it's in a different dimension and like I'm concerned about the weirdness factor of it all because like we can't send regular people through that for that long period of time. I'm gonna send my Angus Hilton brain blasters.
Excellent. That's fun. Angus Hilton has a cloth bodysuit with a fully reflective red nylon coating, has a blue stripe down the center, uh, as well as some redacted material alloy armor plates that cover vital organs. Has a small bean-shaped torso with 4 elongated appendages resembling 2 legs and 2 arms extending from it. Each appendage splits off at the forelimb into 2 identical forelimbs for a total of 4 feet and 4 hands on 2 arms and 2 legs, otherwise featureless. It's from a different galaxy, and changed its name to Angus Hilton. And it's a little psychic bean guy with a bunch of legs and feet. Well, no, arms, no, hands
Hands and
and
feet.
feet, but not a lot of legs. A normal amount of legs and arms,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
with more hands and feet. Like I forgot how weird I made that one. That's so cool. That was great.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Angus Hilton actually eats food or not, so like this could be an asset.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. All right. So I think we'll do that once we actually get into the other dimension. We'll do the paint the scene and the setup stuff in there. Awesome.
Just one question: where is Superintendent Arena Jarvis?
Well, we're doing the break phase right now,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll discuss like all the other stuff here in a moment. Like when you're actually doing the things, we're just doing the upkeep phase that happens in the middle right now.
Sorry,
It's all good.
mistake from faces. So
It's okay. I don't believe we have any paperwork prompts that are unresolved. So let's do the last Sun paint the scene. I like this one. We're going to do the Sun yearly mandatory vacation day paint the scene. Sun policy states that each site must have at minimum 1 day per year where no personnel, save for critical personnel such as maintenance and containment teams, are permitted to enter the site, nor are they allowed to work. The policy was instated due to the High Ethical Council noticing a high yearly rate of employee burnout and, more importantly, overtime. Narrate a scene in which a Sun employee from a different site tries to enjoy their mandatory day off.
I just laughed so hard. Zoom told me, "Hey, you're muted. You need to like if you want to talk to everyone, then unmute yourself." Just like more importantly, overtime.
there are like yeah, there are like big amplifiers, and there are a bunch of girls and boys dressed like in the Sound of Music, and there are like this constant. There are all the time they're singing and making this curve. Hello, well, I need to say goodbye to you, to you, to you, to you, and the people and clap their hands and say, hello, farewell, I need to say goodbye to you. And that's like the one of the enjoyments. But they're really creepy because they're more like cabaret, you know, and have you dressed in like they're not they don't have the Nazi uniforms or the film. They have like this S&M in leather, like more and they're chanting this song.
Oh God. Uh, a little less of a fun answer and more of a just we see like the scene of an employee just in bed, like they don't have anywhere to go, they don't really do anything, and they just stay in and sleep because it is tiring work for working at Sun.
So I think we see one of the science department from one of the other sites who has, in preparation for their day off, Rube Goldberg their entire home, so they don't have to do any work whatsoever. Everything's automated. However, they've suffered a traumatic heart attack, a cardiac event, and have passed away. But the Rube Goldberg machine is so effective that it is a solo Weekend at Bernie's experience, where it looks like he is very much alive and no one knows he has passed yet.
I'm sorry, I'm having a heart
Um, my scene is just the most the most badass looking MTF motherfucker in the world. Very, very awkwardly trying and failing on his day off to procure a small paper sack of weed. Just like, I don't know how this works, but I would like some of the leaf. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? How does one buy weed? And that's
Excellent. I love that. All right. And what would we like to be doing during the upcoming testing phase? I have a feel like I know the general idea, but what in specific is everyone going to be doing to ensure that this plan to transport the entire huge womb into a different dimension goes off?
So that's where is Lafayette is. I'm with Sandy now. Lafayette is with Sandy, you know, and Superintendent Lorena Jarvis is like like 5 or 6 let's say 10 meters from Lafayette, and I say, hey, Sandy, here it is, and I put on the intercom. Superintendent Jarvis, are you there?
Yes, are you in position?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is really important. I have one question.
Yeah, yes. What's your question?
I was wondering if there's one to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Oz, because of the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Are we going to see a Wizard of Oz? You have to tell us the truth. Tell us the truth, Arena. And he cracks and he puts on, yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, we've just invoked the Wizard of Oz at the edge of the universe, as we're about to break the surly bonds of reality and into the cosmic unknown, and you have now opened a doorway for a Wizard of Oz themed doorway into our reality. So thank you very much for that, Officer Lafayette. Does anyone else have any funny jokes they want to pull before we send this eldritch motherfucker into a different place so that it stops messing with our reality made of meat?
Hey, you're talking about my daughter. Have some respect.
It's
I
fine.
think I think well, Lafayette may want to go on vacation soon, and uh I think the sort of stress of it all is getting to him. Yeah. Dr. Cerulean, maybe make a note in your files that to do a brain scan or something, because I'm quite concerned.
Agreed. I do have some industrial strength Xanax we can give him for the moment.
They make industrial strength Xanax for industrial.
Not legally.
Well, I am, as always, I am delighted by your acumen in the scientific arts.
Just to say, Mr. Jarvis, you may fuck everyone, but you can't fuck the Lafayette. Goodbye. And I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Okay. Well. And see, I'm the one who always gets called into HR. Hang on, I put my mouth over my microphone, but you can like still everyone can hear just like, and I'm like throwing clipboards and stuff, just like, and I'm the one who always gets called into HR. I'm the one who I keep this place together, and I'm gonna Sam. I apologize for that outburst, everybody. Let's please keep this channel clear. Make sure everyone speaks with the courtesy with which they wish to be spoken to.
I think just to set the scene a little bit further, I think like the sort of personnel that we're bringing along, as well as ourselves, have been required to wear like these sort of suits. It's unclear about like how bright the sort of interdimension travel, so like they can like have sun shields on them, so like they can be pulled down, so like it's hard to like see like into them, so some of them. So but I think if Jarvis wasn't distracted by Lafayette, they would notice that there's an additional person on the scene.
Oh, I think that in addition to that, like Jarvis has been like silencing different notifications that have kind of just popped up in the lower right corner, that there is there's just like a strange it's not like a clock in anomaly, but we've already established that on like the doorways of different rooms, we've got a brain scanner that was able to catch what's his name's soul in Dr. Cerulean's body. So every time that Snurb passes through different doorways and stuff, there's this tiny little notification that pops up on Jarvis's screen that Jarvis is just like, I'll look at that in a second. This is not like the most important kind of thing. Just like ping, ping. And they're starting to get really annoyed, but they're trying desperately to focus on one important thing right now. and we'll make sure that the rest of everything gets sorted out after we send the giant meat tree to Meatland.
Mhm.
Excellent. Dr. Cerulean, what are you doing?
I mean, I presume I'm going to be the one providing the tech that's going to open this dimensional rift. I think it was my project. Yeah, it was my project. So yeah, I'm gonna have me and my team get that set up in place and get ready to push the big red button. This one does have a normal big red button. It's very important to have a big red button.
And what does this contraption look like? I need to know what kind of weird shit you've MacGyvered here.
So, all right, so there's like the standard 50s teleporter, right? That just has like the thin line of metal and like the gyroscopes on the side of it, right? It's sort of like that, but this one is decidedly built from a giant speculum. I meant from sci-fi. Don't you sass me.
I just like, yeah, the normal teleporters from the 50s, that everyone had.
Where are our teleporters? God damn it!
For real. Yeah, that's excellent.
I'm
Not having
absolutely
teleporters
loving
is transphobic.
I'm loving the idea here that we've got this doctor, like old school Doctor Who looking ass speculum teleporter. Like
It's deeply cursed.
Uh-huh. It's awful. All right. And I imagine the big red button makes it, open up the hole, right?
You gotta press the button,
Yeah, I figured. Awful. All right. So that's being set up. Serb, where are you?
I'm on the scene, sort of as like people are waiting in positions. I'm slowly making my way towards my targets. I I think I just see like Arena Jarvis is just having a bit of a mental breakdown a little bit because like of like Lafayette's shenanigans and like just the idea of like how much chaos is currently at the scene, even though despite it all, it's fairly well organized. If it like Arena is good at their job.
which
Excellent.
means deep inside Snurb's duplicated heart, there's still some positive emotion towards this monstrosity of human nature. Right?
Maybe
Right?
not into the way that you might want.
Oh no.
It sounds to me a lot more like a parasite eyeing up adjectives. Like a thing that perhaps likes to eat adjectives and make them part of itself is looking at all of your adjectives.
Never had my adjectives eaten before.
Who has? I love that. General Burns, how can you tell that something is different? You, obviously the player, know what is different.
Yeah. Like I think like since General Burns is like sort of has been officially kind of put in charge of like all the personnel types of like aspects of this rather than communications, making sure like stuff and just is like on the ground, hands-on with all sorts of things. I think at this point he realizes the numbers are off. There's too many people in this room. he's like he's already accounted for Sandy. Like that's an extra person we're bringing on, but like who else would bring an additional person? Like because like I've already had I've already talked to Heartboil. I've already talked to like my own personnel. I've already talked to like a bunch of people. Like, do they know like this is like we're not bringing on like additional folks just to make sure that Site 42's like main hub stays like secure as we transfer like this large monstrosity over into the other dimension. So like I think, and I'm just like trying to like get a visual of like who's where and just figure out like who this person is, like, or like who's the additional person. Uh, Department leads, sound off. Did you perhaps bring an additional personnel here?
There's a slight pause as Jarvis goes through on different team channels, just like sounding off, and it's like, I got everybody accounted for. You know, my several people are there. There is a determined number, and I'm said that number. We're going to pretend that my folks are there. It's just that number of them.
Add 1 to that.
Well, that's not good. Where at? You got eyes on the interloper?
Not yet. To be fair, like these suits are make identifying folks a little bit difficult.
All right. Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep an eye out. It's just one thing after another with this one, huh? Actually, hey, Burns, would just to check a couple of logistical things, would you mind hopping over to a private channel real quick?
Sure.
And
There's
switch
no
over to
private channel, Mr. Arena Jarvis.
that shows what you know about electrodynamics and magnetism. And I move over to a different secure radio channel that is not a public channel. You know, I know everything's kind of crazy right now, Burns. I just, you know, everything's. This is the fun part of the job, despite the fact that it's also the extremely dangerous reality tearing part of the job. But I just wanted to, do you want to go out for something after all? I mean, supposing we don't literally die and have all our atoms, molecules, and souls distributed across an infinite timeline. I wanted to go out for dinner. I had a great time. And I want to stay close to you.
Yeah. That sounds fantastic. Like I know I'm just a little bit on edge because like yeah, I don't know who's currently in the room right now. I don't know if just someone has infiltrated Site 42. I don't know if it's just a random person who thought, oh no, I'll volunteer for this type of things. It's just a little bit stressful.
I got you. All right. So here's the deal. You pick which restaurant you want to take me to, and I will do a quick double check of the logs, people's coming and going. We're gonna find our mystery person. We're gonna take care of them. We're gonna make sure everyone's accounted for. And I'll see you after the reality breach.
Yeah. See you later.
All right. Oh, you hang up first.
No. You know what? We can't dilly-dally and
yeah. You know what? You're right. They're always saying I'm so unprofessional, but you know how I get.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Back to the main channel. You too. Not just me. You too. All right. Back to the. And I switch back to the main channel and
get a room, you guys.
You didn't hear that.
Excellent.
This is going to be heartbreaking.
You did it to yourself.
I know. I said that with genuine excitement for the result. It's going to be heartbreaking. Smiley face.
I think this is going to be a very paint the scene heavy session here.
Mhm.
I have a lot of ideas about where to take this and how this will start going, but a lot of it is going to be paint the scenes. So be ready for that. I would like us to paint the scene here. Eventually, the big red button must be pushed. And I would love to know what it looks like when this big speculum opens up a hole to a new reality. So let's paint the scene. What does the creation of this portal look like?
So I have an idea that's like a little bit like you know how when we were in the womb, in order to survive in there and coexist with it, we had to amplify our emotions in order to drown out the control. I think that there is an aspect of that, and as this portal opens, the emotions of everyone involved, not just like in like a physical space like close to it, but people who know about it also like feel this intense wave of emotion that the emotion can only be described as meat. And so suddenly as it opens up and the portal like manifests itself, that wave of meat emotion, or as Steph has put, emotion, uh, everyone is overwhelmed with this feeling of meat, and it is extremely powerful.
What you see is an exact replica of the four of us, but being teenagers.
Oh no. I think we're seeing like different visions of reality as we're sort of effectively tuning into the correct one where we can send this meat womb to I think there is a variety of colors, just intensities. Like I think a lot of us have a lot of the folks have like turned down like there's sun shields. Uh and I think at this point, like General Burns' legs give out, as well as Snurbs. Just it's hard to control your form when you're just the idea of reality shifting, twisting all around you, and the sense of meat. Meat. What is the motion of meat? You must become meat. You must live to ideals of meat, or you must consume it.
So to build off what Chaotic said, I think Dr. Cerulean is probably the one that's tuning this dimensional frequency in. And she's also listening to the Helios comm to like see where the signal gets strongest. And I think as she's cycling through these dimensions, there's one where everything has this lovely cyan outline rather than black outlines like you'd see in comics. And she pauses there for a moment, considering, and then continues on to what's can only be described as the sun being too close now. It's like deeply intense and shining through the portal. And that's where she'll stop.
Excellent. Snurb. what are you doing in this moment? This is the big moment. Everyone's attention is focused elsewhere.
This I am crawling. I am trying to get back up and trying to hold some sort of form so I can stab Jarvis in the heart. Because they've wronged me. Well, they've wronged us. They will continue to wrong us because they don't learn, they don't know. And inexplicably, I've always even Snurb has this trait of having a hidden knife at all times. I think with a sudden sort of invigoration of energy, they go and lunge at Jarvis, trying to kill them.
Well, darn it.
What do you do, Jarvis? You've got this besuited person attacking you with a knife whilst dimensions are shifting.
Yeah, just as everything was getting turned on, oh. I'm looking at my you know who this is a cursed sentence. You know who's got a meat baton?
You do have that.
Yeah.
I think that as both Burns and Snurb go down as the portal opens up, Jarvis kind of clocks that and is just like doing the quick head count and figures, okay, wait a minute, I know that's Burns. I know that, that's what it looks like when something is having a hard time holding on to its like form, its reality. It's hot, and also we're near the sun and the temperature has gone up. And there's just a moment where, as you leap make the jump to stab, Jarvis pushes back from their desk, from everything, and falls over with the rolly chair that they were in, and just happens to grab the meat baton and swings it at Burns and makes contact. And I don't know what that meat baton does when it makes contact with a being like Burns, so or like Snurb. So, but I do know that everyone is feeling very meat right now. So, yeah.
This feels like a move.
Yes. This, I think, is going to be... We're going to say this is the fright move for you, Jarvis. I think that makes the most sense here.
Yeah.
And you are going to be at disadvantage here because of both employee of the month and afraid, and someone has anything. Take your pick.
I am stressed out because the job is important right now. All eyes are on me, and wow, I feel that feeling of me.
Yep. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
Oh, I'm afraid that I don't even know how bad the situation is right now. I'm afraid that I'm going to like disrupt the whole dimensional shift and get stuck in it, and I am supposed to be very, very not involved with that part of it. So I'm terrified that, like, whoever this person is that is attacking is going to cause me to get in the middle of all this, and which is something I really don't want to do. I've got a date later.
It's worse than that. Your suit will tear.
No.
This is going to be with anomalous or physicality -1, which would then be a -2 for you. So if you really want to fucking go down here,
I'd like to anomalous, please. And I'm using the meat baton. Does that cancel out the
it does. If you want to mark that, then yeah.
All right. That's just 2d6 plus 1. How bad can it be?
Why would you say that?
Oh, well, okay, that's a 7. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. I might work.
All right.
Yeah.
Officer Lafayette, you see, as all of this is going on, it's very distracting, the whole everything that's happening. I don't necessarily think that you see the conflict that's going on between Snurb and Jarvis because you're too preoccupied with the fact that Sandy has started growing things out of the sterile floor and weaving them into one another. And eventually you seem to think that she is making some sort of headwear. What do you do as you see this meat version of your daughter weave a meat hat or meat something?
So I cannot see what's happening to Jarvis, right? There's no way that I can help him.
Yeah, I think that right now everything is going on at once and everyone is too wrapped up in their own things to really notice what's happening elsewise.
Okay.
And this is like happening at the same time as everything else.
So nice hat. What's the purpose, darling?
I'm weaving us crowns.
Crowns. Great. For what?
This new place we're going to.
What's this new place we're going to?
Not sure. But when we get there,
good? Is it good? Just you're my daughter. You can't, or you want. I'm having this case this case that so okay, so tell me your purpose, please. I mean, these are my friends. Please don't
I
let
want
them
to
die.
make you into a king, Officer Lafayette.
I'm
The king of a new world, of a new place. A
I'm
place
okay with
that
being
doesn't
Lafayette.
disrespect you like all of these rules.
Okay, please, Sandy, please. First, promise me that you won't kill anyone that's in this room. You have to promise to me that.
Fine. I don't care about them.
Well, if you care about me, you care about them, okay?
I won't hurt them. But
Great.
I don't want to be alone either.
You're not alone. I'm here. You're not alone. Who brought you here? I brought you here, haven't I?
In this new place, we can go together. I will weave you a crown of meat and bristle and bone. When
I'm
you
sure
put it
I don't need
upon,
that.
when you put it upon your brow, it'll
don't want
bury
anything.
itself into your skin, into your skull, and weave itself down through your body. It will let you withstand the harsh environments that we will be going to.
Just
And I
promise me
will be
one
your
thing.
princess.
No, you're my daughter. First, just promise me one thing. Just tell me, would you will my hair grow again?
If you wish.
Okay, so focus. First of all, focus first on growing my hair again, and then let's think about me being a king, because your daddy is more concerned in having his hair back than being a king.
You'll be able to make that happen.
And no one will be hurt. So let's focus, please, darling. First, daddy's hair. Then we
I
discuss
want
the
you
second
to
part.
put the crown on Officer Lafayette. This is going to be the fright move.
Okay.
It's going to be with anomalous or with willpower -1.
Let me see.
And you are going to be rolling at disadvantage because of your condition.
Okay. So you said anomaly or
Anomalous or willpower -1.
I got 0 anomaly, so of my
Better than a
condition.
-1 willpower.
Yeah. 3d6 and the lowest. Awesome. As I'm doing this, I'm calling with my head to General Gilbert Burns. Okay, that's a power that I have. Please, Burns, be here with me. Okay. 10.
Excellent. Well, hold on. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I will not become the Swamp Thing. I will become the Meat Thing.
It's worse than that. You'll become the king of the meat things. But you don't. Dr. Cerulean, what are you doing?
I mean, in the name of science, I have to be the first one to go through this portal.
Excellent. All right. This place, as you begin stepping through the portal, you feel the heat pressing against the suit. You feel the humidity of this weird realm. It looks barren for the most part. Hills of purple, and not much else. Purple grains of sand flowing through a breeze that is evident, but you can't feel due to your suit. Let's paint the scene, everyone. How can we tell that this is a place that gods went to die? And let's think about that for a moment. We're gonna take a 10-minute break, and we'll get to the rest of the testing phase. So think about your answers to that prompt. I'll also read it in the chat here. All right. Whoever is ready and would like to go first with their paint the scene answers, please do so. The paint the scene, for reminding, is how can we tell that this dimension is one where gods went to die?
Well, first of all, it's really cold. It's not like you're gonna die if you don't have something put on, but it's really cold. And the coldness is the coldness of solitude, of being alone forever.
Hmm.
When the wind passes, anyone that has a soul will know that he's alone forever.
There, despite the sensation of meat being overwhelming, there is, currently speaking, no meat here. It is just bones and dust.
I think off in the distance, it looks like a mountain range, but it's actually the desiccated corpse of one of these gods that's still rotting.
I think in whatever passes for the sky in this world, there is a vast bone-colored nebula that from here looks like a strange, shimmering, kind of undulating cloud a billion miles away. But if you were to actually go into that nebula, you would see that every single little bit of stardust that is just happens to be catching the light from lands that still live a billion light years away. Every single one of those bits of stardust is actually a set of eyes. The old dead gods, just because they have gone here to die, still watch. They simply cannot do anything. It is why that is the way that gods go to die. They exist. They simply cannot do anything other than watch.
Oh, yes. Dr. Cerulean, you feel this as you walk out, both the sun, which is too close, beating down on your suit, but it feels less like a warmth and more like a pressure as the air gets incredibly cold as soon as you step through that precipice. You feel the weight of thousands of eyes looking on you. What do you do?
Would help if I mute. Um, so she's going to take a sample of the earth, of course, or whatever, the sand, the purple sand, of course. But more importantly, she wants to get video of the eyes that are watching her. So she's going to videotape the sky with her data readout glasses.
This is going to be the fright move.
Fair.
Either with anomalous or logic -1, but you still have your silly little thing, your silly little move.
My perfectly balanced move that you should
Your
just leave in the
silly,
game.
yeah, your silly little move that I haven't changed already, certainly.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. What am I afraid is gonna happen?
Yeah.
I think some of whatever deification or whatever source of power those watching eyes still have will slip into her via the data readout.
Yeah, no, that's the worst.
Nailed it.
anything that I say would just be clarifying that point. So that is just the worst, actually. Good job.
Okay.
Uh,
Thanks.
yeah. Nice. Let's have that roll. And I think Haunted by the Memory of Harley is, in fact, going to take place here as you can hear the sun clearly for the first time.
Oh dear.
This sun,
All right.
the son of dying gods, whispering to you. And you know what? Actually, that's how it can be worse. You'll be chosen by the sun, whatever
Yay.
that means, by this sun in particular.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and mark Helios calm to balance out that disadvantage, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. That'll be an 8 total.
Excellent. General Burns, what are you doing as all of this chaos unfolds around you? That huge opening happened. It feels like meat. Someone, presumably one of the department, has just walked into the portal without saying anything to anyone. And there are people scuffling. There are crowns being woven of meat.
And someone is attacking my significant other, apparently. I don't know what's going up with that. So, like, I'm going to get into the fray. Let's go.
This is the fright move. I don't think that there is any alternate. It would only be with anomalies. I can't think of any other stat that would be appropriate here. But lucky for you, your anomalous is 3 anyways. You don't have any conditions either. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
This is what me as a player am afraid of. I'm afraid that Jarvis's secret will get revealed to Burns.
It's worse than that. Burns and Snurb will merge and become one and have the same experiences that each other have had, as well as being just a more potent version of yourself, since you would just be ×2. And that's worse for everyone, to be clear.
Bernie squared. Okay.
Go, Burns, go.
Let's go. That is a 13.
Hell yes. All right. Superintendent Jarvis. In the moments that the thing opened, this other person has attacked you and lunged toward you. I would actually like... So here's how I would like this to go. Given how the roles have fallen, I would like for the both of you to please narrate this lovely fight scene, at the end of which both of you will be able to clear one condition, because it is definitely a virtuous move. Just regardless. And
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I would like, because you got a 7, Jarvis, what will effectively happen here is that you will be at the disadvantage for the fight until eventually Burns will come back in and help fight Snurb, and at which point Chaotic will have full control over the scene because they rolled a very good roll. Does this sound equitable?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Then please take it away, you two.
I'm going to say that the initial lunge and scuffle and everything leads to the meat baton being used to knock the visor, the face shield, all of that away. And it is clear to Jarvis that this is General Burns. And at first they are like panicked and like totally confused. But as Snurb begins to crush their windpipe, Jarvis is able to get a really good adrenaline-infused look into his eyes. And there's just a hint of static and film grain around the irises. And Jarvis recognizes that the last time they saw this was when Burns turned around in the film and looked straight at the camera. And there is a moment of realization as Jarvis understands who this is and why this is happening. And there is a moment where they desperately try and pry the hand from their throat that is crushing them into the ground and start to gurgle out a response, something, anything to explain, to talk about it. And then they stop and they keep that eye contact for just another millisecond more. And Jarvis just begins crying and gurgling, and there's just tears streaming out of their eyes. And they don't put their all into pulling that hand off their throat anymore. And they just mouth, "I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry." And then, yeah, go for it. No, and then Burns comes in.
As you're saying this, I think the actual General Burns comes in and just does like effectively like a sort of a kick to like knock this individual off. And I think like as like we're going in for round 2, Burns v Snurb, I think Burns looks confused because that's him. Why is there more than one of me? Oh, this one is very mad. And just is snarling and bestial. Instead, the suit twists and crunches and rips as like Snurb takes more of a predatory form. And I think like General Burns is like looking very afraid because this is something he's afraid of. He's afraid of people finding out that this is kind of like him, but this could just be. But then an idea creeps in. This is just a doppelganger. This is just a shapeshifter. It only looks like me just to infiltrate this space. It's not me. It's not really me. And I think like we see this fight where like General Burns is wrestling Snurb and is immensely unwieldy strong and knows like the general like weaknesses and where Burns himself finds himself lacking. And I think like we see like it suddenly get pinned to the ground and snapping and snarling. And I think Burns like reaches his gloved hand down this creature's throat and rips something out. Is this ball, this little white ball of like gemstone or something, crystal, something fragile and gentle and pure. But Burn just crushes it. And this creature screams and withers, dies. Sort of the material that's left behind is sort of almost like this stretchy, plasticky thing.
Excellent. Officer Lafayette, you resist the urge to put the crown on. But when she notices that you are not going to come willingly, she sighs and puts the crown on her own head. And we see her skull merge with the crown. It starts ossifying, and the bone starts solidifying around her musculature until there is a very, very fine and sharp point at the end of her left arm. And she cracks her neck, and you can see that the muscles on the rest of her have started engorging and becoming bigger, stronger. And she says, well, I tried to make you a god and you wouldn't let me, Father. So now I'll just have to make you a demigod or something like that. You're coming with me. You aren't going to leave me in that place alone.
Now, wait a minute. I never said I wasn't going to leave you, okay? Did I say I'm going to leave you?
I know what your company does. If you're not coming with me, then you're trying to just contain me.
Listen, I don't care about this fucking company. I mean, I tried
Then
to burn it
why
the first
wouldn't
time
you leave it?
because they mess with my brain, you know?
I just offered you an
Besides,
escape,
no,
Officer Lafayette, and you denied
no.
it.
Call me father. Call me father. No, let's it's between daughter and father. Besides, let's be real. Did my hair grow? No. So you promised me to make my hair grow, and then we can go. Okay? Just listen to me. I'm your father.
Fine. She reaches her huge hand out and grasps the top of your head. This is going to be another anomalous move. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
That I have like a fake Elvis cut.
It's worse than that. The hair is not going to be made of keratin. It will be meat hair, like you saw in the Red Thumb mystery, and she will be in control of you.
Okay.
This is going to be with anomalous or, once again, willpower -1, and at disadvantage for the condition.
Well, I got 7 -1 6, but I'm going to open doing paperwork. How do you say it? To make it a 7.
We'll get to that here in a moment.
I'm gonna do sorry, arrest me. Narrate the flashback. For the first time you had to detain someone anonymous.
Dr. Cerulean.
Yes, me. Sorry, I was punning.
It's all good. I get it. You rolled a 7, correct?
8, so yeah, same band of success.
Okay. You scan these things and start getting data readings. They're not entirely clear because of how infinitely far away they are at all times, but you get some data from them to be certain. But what truly catches your attention, perhaps, is the booming voice of the star above you. And every time that it speaks and you hear it through the helioscomm, you see a solar flare erupt from it, a solar flare that is a separate color from one that any star should be. It's a very, very bright cyan. And it speaks to you. Have you ever wanted more? More knowledge than you could know what to do with?
That's what I've dedicated my life to.
You could have it. The dust you walk upon, the dead flesh of countless gods. Not before have I seen such an interesting thing appear here, something that not wished to die and rot. Use that wretched thing that you have on your torso and consume as much as you possibly could, and you will have everything you ever desire.
Oh dear.
What do you do?
I mean, I was just gonna snort the purple dust, but it seems way more fun to put it in my belly now.
Excellent. That was the complication was the offer, by the way.
Fair enough. Who needs to file paperwork when you like the complication?
Right?
Yeah, I think she'll use her. I think she'll actually make it more fun. She'll use her tail like a shovel to just shovel it in there, like just
Incredible. Superintendent Arena Jarvis. What you doing right now?
Well, currently I'm just desperately trying to regain my breath, and it would, wouldn't you know it, it's very hard to get enough air into my lungs at the moment, almost as if my windpipe done been crushed, and that might cause some short-term problems, and if not treated, may cause some long-term problems. And while I'm kind of nattering on trying to say something, it just sounds like
You can clear a condition, though.
burns. Oh, that's good. Well, I'm not. I know which condition I'm not clearing. I'm not clearing afraid, but I think I'll clear someone has to do it. Because right now someone else has to do it. I'm doing too much. Someone else has to do it. So yeah, I'll clear someone has to do it, as I just kind of sit up and I'm looking at Burns and the husk and shattered bits of what used to be Snurb, and just sobbing and desperately trying to say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. To both, clearly to both Burns and the shattered mess of whatever is that mess on the floor is. I'm speaking to both of them, and it's all super incoherent at the moment.
Rena, are you all right? I don't.
shake my head no while I continue to blubber, just like, no, I'm not all right.
General Burns will hug Arena, trying to comfort them. It like it is very awkwardly because once again they're in suits and just like and it's just like very cumbersome, and it's just like Burns is like has effectively gore on him. It's not like bloody or meaty or anything like that, but it's like a black discus. Um, and like they're trying to comfort Arena, but they don't know. They fundamentally don't know what you did.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so difficult, because Arena is desperate to try and explain and is currently unable to make any words that make sense, because they're saying as they hold you as tight as they can. They always leave. Always leave me alone. And I, I just want to hang on to anything. And because they leave. And I know why they leave. I know why they leave. Burns.
I won't leave.
And they cry even harder. And while they are crying, I think they hear some sort of chatter on the radio on the headset that is sprawled on the ground next to them. And there is a moment where Jarvis has to decide to stay in Burns' arms or to reach over and grab the headset. And just completely tear-stained and devastated, Jarvis slowly moves away and grabs the headset and tries desperately to say to Burns, we'll talk later and I will tell you everything. After we breach the reality and fix the whole meat cataclysm thing we got going on right now. And like a professional, they try and put on their big they pants and get back to work.
I don't think Burns is gonna leave you though.
What do you do, General Burns?
I think I'm helping Arena to her to their feet again, making sure like they have support, physically speaking, and just sort of flustering them as like a bit of like a mother hen would over their eggs. Like Arena shouldn't be doing their job right now. They're they should be like taken to the infirmary or something like that to just be helped, because like they literally had an attack on their life, uh and no so small part to Burns because something made something like Burns. Burns can tell that part at most. He's not sure what could have caused this, because like this has never happened before in the decades that he's been on Earth. This has not. There hasn't been anyone like him before, and the first time he interacted with anyone like this before, in his moments, he killed them. he, even though it was technically speaking self-defense, it's still murder. It's still wrong. But you can't share that. Not even with Arena, because like they wouldn't understand. They would just think that Burns was an anomaly, wouldn't they?
Officer Lafayette, this is what happens before you file your paperwork. The roots start growing from Sandy's hand as they burrow into your skull. And you feel your own skin and veins start curling and twitching inside of your body as they reach out to meet with these roots. You feel something inside of you change. An incredible sense of finality dawns upon you. Your skin begins sloughing off. And as she takes her hand off of you, you have a very beautiful, luscious set of flowing red locks. And a lovely crown made of meat on your head. And that's a fucking incredible pun. I can't, that can't be just in the chat. Air just said Air Club for Men, as in like HEIR. Love that. Incredible.
Great Eric.
But instead, what happens is she just begins to squeeze. It's very clear that she has now given up on whatever it is and has just settled on killing you. What do you do?
First, first I'm calling. It seems that he doesn't hear me, but I know you two lovebirds are having a great time, but I'm in fucking trouble here, Burns. Come on, I'm in fucking trouble here. In my mind, you know. So, my darling, you will kill me? You will kill your father?
If you won't join me.
I said, I will join you. What do we have to do? And besides, I haven't got my hair back.
You can grow your own fucking hair when you put the crown on.
No. Let's go piece by piece. You promised me that I would have hair, and I'm not seeing it. So if you want me to go, and as in my mind, come on, Burns, please, you talk with this creature. Fucking help me, please. As I say, as I was saying, first hair, then the crown, and then we go happily ever after.
General Burns, you're getting this telepathic communication from Lafayette.
Yeah.
I would love to know
like,
if what you do, like, what do you respond?
Because like this is all happening in the same room. I'm just gonna take a look at what Lafayette is doing, because like it's a 50-50 shot of like whether or not it's super serious or it's not serious at all, and like maybe he has a freak out over like a bug or something. We're not sure.
You see what appears to be Sandy trying to squish his head like a grape.
Okay, now I have to go over there and have a fist fight. I can't. God, Lafayette's gonna be so mad at me because, like, I'm gonna end up hurting his daughter, and there's no good way. It's either Lafayette dies or he gets emotionally very angry at me.
Excellent.
No, he won't.
Officer Lafayette, I'm gonna advance your fear condition as your
Okay.
complication for the 7 and 9 here. So, yeah, that's pretty rough. And to signify that in the text, I'm going to change it from the darkness of Sandy to the darkness of Queen Meat.
Oh no.
And well, darling, what about my hair? We talk. First the hair, second the crown, and then we go out.
General
Wow.
Gilbert Burns.
Fucking
I'm just
Burns,
gonna sucker
kill her.
punch Sandy.
Kill her. Fucking Burns, kill her down. Come on.
Yeah, let's have the fright move with anomalous or physicality -1.
Me or Burns?
General Gilbert Burns.
Mhm. I get to name what I'm afraid of happening. I'm afraid
Yes.
that I'm going to. Sandy is like in a current state of shifting and transforming. That when I do punch, my fist is just going to go through and splatter Lafayette and just traumatize him even further. But however, effectively, it's not going to stop Sandy.
It's worse than that. Sandy will find someone more worthy of being her king.
Oh.
It's you, by the way. If that wasn't
Yeah. I'm not happy about that. Can I use anything for advantage? I don't know what this is.
It's something that Dr. Cerulean made with a clue, I think. The rover.
Which thing?
A sandy-shaped soul rover.
Oh yeah, it's like a little like poppet that we were going to use to like explore this space instead of ourselves, which I already stepped through. So, but that was its intent anyway.
Yeah, I think like my intent is like as like I think I pulled this out. I'm just like shoving it towards Sandy to try to like absorb her or at least her essence to like stun her or something. I'm just hoping that like I will have a weird interaction with Sandy's soul. Maybe capture it like a Pokemon.
Excellent. All right, yeah, let's have that roll.
Ooh. Anomalous, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That is 15.
Dang. All right. Well,
Burns is weird, y'all.
yeah, that's great. I mean, yeah, this is going to be the last set of scenes here. So let's, we'll go around and we'll wrap everything else up as well. So how do you just describe the scene? Give us the scene. What do you do?
I think as I'm taking this little puppet doll, I'm just like placing it like onto the back of Sandy. I think like she arches and just like was like just in surprise and lets go Lafayette, but then the meat sort of pulls itself away, sort of dissolving into the doll, and the doll is now like threaded together with meat and is moving pretty slowly as though the doll itself is falling asleep. But I have one Sandy doll.
Excellent. Dr. Cerulean, please narrate your ascent into godhood.
Oh, that was one of the sentences of all time. I think her eyes start glowing like this deep, intense blue, and there's no more. What's the white part called? Sclera? Is that what the white part's called? No more sclera. It's just solid blue now. And her meaty tail and mouth take on a blue tinge as well. And like this sort of like it's almost like her skin's cracking from the divinity that's threatening to burst out from the shell it's in, as like these cracks form all over her body, and this divinity sort of just leaking out ambiently around her now. The PPE she's wearing just disintegrates. She doesn't need that anymore. And smiling, she's going to kind of lean her head back in through the portal. Um, and just have her tail wrap around Sandy and yank her through. We need a snack. We're hungry after becoming a god.
So you just take this little doll out of my hand.
I love that. Yeah. And as Cerulean enters back into the physical, at least partially, you don't feel meat anymore. Everyone but Dr. Cerulean can take the condition feeling blue.
Oh.
And you all hear the voice of this star now. Behold that which lust for knowledge can create. The locus of infinite knowing is upon all of us. Good luck, little ones. Superintendent Arena Jarvis, you hear a lot of screaming from your headset. I don't think that there's any other way that this can go in this moment. Other than, I mean, I think that Dr. Cerulean probably ends the world. I'm not gonna lie. Does that sound about on track for you?
Well, it would. I mean, it really would sound about on track for me, which is why, why I feel like operations probably already saw this coming. And I think we have to detonate the nuke we put in Dr. Cerulean's head. Now, first we got to close the portal, and then we got to detonate the nuke that we put in Dr. Cerulean's head as part of that chip. I mean, listen, we all got contingency plans. This one was one, Gerald's gonna be upset that it wasn't Dr. Cerulean becoming Crab Queen, because they had $400 on Crab Queen, but I called meat apotheosis was where I put my money. So I think that I gesture to someone, quick, hit that red button to close the speculum, and then right before it closes, I hit the blue button labeled Dr. Cerulean's brain nuke. This is all, if this is too silly, I'm willing.
Would love to give that to you, but unfortunately, you're full up on conditions.
That's true.
You can't take another condition to do this.
Well, you know what?
And also, Dr. Cerulean would have to agree, as per the move's text.
I mean, that's also true. It was more like the spirit of the move rather than the actual move that I was hoping to. Not the
I
letter
mean,
of
that's
the
up,
game, but the
that's up
spirit.
to that's up to Dr. Cerulean if they want to take that. But I will say that you can't, you don't have the resources.
I mean, that's fair. That's totally. This is what I was. You know what? In the split second where all of this is becoming clear, where it's like, oh well, I'm gonna win that giant pot that we had, but it's not gonna matter because we're all gonna die. I'm gonna be like, man, I wish I had. I wish I had put that nuke in Dr. Cerulean's.
Dr. Truly, are you, do you agree with this sort of thing that I think that's probably what's happening, right? Like, I can't imagine a scenario where she doesn't end the world as we know it and make something else, right?
Yeah. It's not necessarily an end. And look, destruction is an act of creation.
Yeah. So I think as the last thing that we do here before going to Stars and Wishes, if everyone is all right with this ending, I would love it if you all give a brief sort of like epilogue of what it is like living in a blue world.
With a blue house,
A blue
and
little window.
blue little window.
And a blue Corvette at that.
God, this is a hard one because I'm not sure what a blue world would look like.
Blue.
Yeah, I mean, like
Sorry.
like what would the world look like under Dr. Imogen's reimagining? Would people still look
Let's have
like
that first. Dr. Cerulean, what is this new blue world?
Um, just
Doesn't it
knowing
also
how-
doesn't have to be blue. I just think it
Yeah.
probably would be.
No, it's almost certainly blue. It's been a running bit, so of course it is. Everything has a that just reminds me of In the Mouth of Madness. Did I ever tell you my favorite color was blue? Just everything's tinted blue forever. So yeah, definitely everything's tinted blue. I don't think she. Well, I guess they now. It's probably just they them now, right? After apotheosis. I think they weren't necessarily about efficiency, so I don't know if they like en masse change people's forms. It's more like if you pray to her, pray to them. Thee thou, oh, that's very good. Thee thou is very good for pronouns. um, so yeah, if you pray to thee, uh uh that was more than happy to change your form into whatever you want. So the world probably has no uniformity anymore. Everything's custom tailored as to whoever asks for it. Your own little slice of paradise.
I think in this blue tinged world, I think General Burns is generally more happy because like he can excuse some of like his form on uh the the god of blue, the god of the ever shifting form, the unknowable mass, the new star, because well, he doesn't have to focus on becoming human, because, well, no one really is human these days. Not like the old ways. And it's pretty relaxing. I don't think he stops working for Site-42 because I think there will always be anomalies, things that will bother people in the world. Because God can do a bunch, but God doesn't really need to meddle in the paltries of day-to-day human life. Besides, that would just take away free will, wouldn't it? And Dr. Imogen always gives people what they want.
So you see Lafayette in this blue New Orleans playing the trombone in a jazz band after leaving Site 42. He sees a girl in the crowd that's very, yeah, he's a blues musician. Yeah, he's a, yeah. You see a girl in the crowd that resembles very much like Jennifer. And then you see him writing a letter in paper and said, "Dear God, I had the greatest time with you, and thank you for making me live that whole rat that I was in. Sincerely, your body, Lafayette." And he sends it to God. And you see him playing the blues.
I think if there's one thing I know about Dr. Imogen, it's that, well, God, when I knew thee, that was totally and completely amoral, without a sense of right or wrong. And that was something that I always respected thee for. And, I felt like perhaps I was on the cusp of some large character growth, but thou hast shown me the way that, morality is not only, it's more relative than it ever has been. And so perhaps, perhaps we just call everything that we do a strange experiment. And whatever comes from it, good, bad, pleasant, unpleasant, it's that's just data. That's just information that we've gathered in our quest for knowledge and truth. And I think that that's probably how I will live my life now, in thy glorious, glorious path that thou hast shown me. I have to understand that to find the truth of Jarvis is to understand Jarvis, and do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, as long as thou dost take notes and give us good data afterwards. So I promise, you help me, and if thou wilt help me, I will write everything down and send it to you so you can analyze it later.
Excellent.
I have just one thing that I forgot. In the letter says, "P.S. Dear, thanks for, although it's blue, thank you for having my hair again." And you're wrong, God.
Yes, Dr. Sterling does give you a thick, full head of blue hair. It is very painful to cut it, though.
And with that, right before we get to stars and wishes, we see the figure of site director Star, the unsettlingly tall man, the bright blue pinstripe suit. He's sat in the office of Site 42. And as he files away different pieces of paper, he smiles at your original application. I knew you could do it. The same voice of that other distant star. Let's go to Stars and Wishes.
Oh!
I can't believe that everything just turned blue. That was not on my bingo card.
Mine either. No, I was like, okay, so they're gonna do this or they're gonna do this, and then no, actually.
Listen, you can't offer me the option of apotheosis and expect me not to take it immediately.
I mean, I figured you probably would, but like, I just didn't know that's where we were gonna end up when I started this.
Fair.
It all just made narrative sense. Like, yeah, of course you're sending it to a place gods die. You discovered that it was a god.
Mhm.
And what would all of that weird fucking purple shit be if not god dust?
And then just scoop it up in your stomach.
Gross.
Yum 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 yum.
Check out this dust.
It's
Slurp.
divine pixie sticks. It's delicious.
Real. It really is.
I gotta give a star for all the puns this session. And just that Dr. Imogen did not actually destroy the world, but instead became a benevolent, quote unquote, god. As well as just like the sort of ridiculous shenanigans that site and Sun employees get up to on their days off. Of just like, let's go to a burlesque show or we Rube Goldberg this shit, but then accidentally die before we could actually go off, and then weekend Bernie's it, as well as just like, I would like some of the leaf. This was a ridiculous session, and I can't believe General Burns rolled so well that he did not find out anything secret that was going on. Whether it was Arena Jarvis, his other dimensional twin, Lafayette, like with like just the idea of like ascending to godhood on that end, and just like. General Burns was in the dark for the majority of the session, and I just found that to be hilarious because he was just like, kinda not doing so hot because the reality is warping around me and it makes me feel a little sick.
You had a little bit of a tummy ache.
I'm gonna go next because y'all, this was an incredible session, an absolutely incredible session, full of like genuinely hilarious moments and phrases, while also being absolutely horrifying, which I think should be the tagline of this game so far. Like, everything has been, this is really, really funny, and also the worst. It makes me scared. Like, I love that. I love it so much. I have again taken notes because otherwise I so I'm just gonna go down the list. Chaotic, there's a moment where you said to the donut guy as Snurp, You'll face the consequences for your actions on your own. That just the way you delivered it was the funniest thing I've ever heard. As well as, oh, this one is very mad. Like, I have just looked at this situation. Oh, this one is that's the emotion that's happening. Okay, I understand. I have analyzed this and correctly identified it. As well as, okay, now I know I need to go take care of this situation with Lafayette. Now that I've seen these heads about to be squeezed like a grape. And, I don't know, I'm going to chuck this at them and maybe capture it like a Pokemon. Absolute, total MVP of roles and just like getting stuff done, saving people, knowing nothing. Just an absolute, like...
Absolute himbo.
Absolute stellar showing from Burns this session. Like, this was when it all mattered, and Burns did it, even though he didn't know what he was doing. Oh my gosh. Marty, okay. The company Sound of Music BDSM burlesque show is something I didn't know I needed. But now I'm currently trying to figure out what the blocking for that good long farewell, I see they're saying goodnight. Like, the hilariousness of just like, can I get my hair back? Like, that whole thing absolutely floored me. Hilarious. And then on the complete opposite spectrum, I felt genuine emotions when you were talking to Sandy and you were like, no, you're not alone. I'm here. I brought you here. Like, trust me. And making this genuine connection with this being. That moment, I was just like, holy, oh my goodness, you're not alone. I'm here. I brought you here. It's okay. And then the coldness of solitude as a concept absolutely floored me. So good. And then this is a theme. Everyone's paint the scenes has been so good, like so good. On that note, the solo Weekend at Bernie's Rube Goldberg device and the Doctor Who's 1950s sci-fi looking speculum teleporter technology. Dr. Imogen, I just cannot. It's so good. As well as Air Club for Men and your entire apotheosis. Just, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy she got a happy ending. And it's just, thou art glorious in thy blue ways. And I think that thou dost truly deserve thy glorious blue kingdom that thou hast brought upon our lands. And it makes me happy. And last but not least, Steph, the fact that you could roll with all of this that happened in this session, absolutely astonishing GM work. Like, genuinely very, very good. You've got us being all over the spectrum of very serious, very high stakes emotional drama, and then also very silly and very end of the world. It's the fact that like this session flowed so well and was so good is an absolute testament to you as a game runner, as a writer, etc. It's worse than that. You'll become the king of the meat things was a great moment. The darkness of Queen Meat instead of the darkness of Sandy was a great.
Oh no, the disappearance.
Great moment. Please narrate your ascent. This is a variation on me. Well, wait, am I? Oh no!
Oh, you just talked real fast.
Okay, where did I cut out?
It's hard to tell because you did just say everything at like 500 times speed at the end there, so I'm kind of on. I don't remember.
All right. Well,
you were giving me a lot of great praise, and I'm gonna cry about it.
Lots of great lines. I really like the evocativeness of the line. less like a warmth, more like a pressure. I don't know what it was about that line, but that is going to stick with me. Holy hell, that is a descriptive sentence that is really, really good. Y'all, I wish this game could go on forever. I wish we could play in a new world that is just the blue world, and we just do Site 42 Blue Edition. That would be great. That would be my wish for everything. I have had an absolute blast, and it has been such a delight to be Blue 42. Yes, it has been an absolute delight to play with y'all and to be in here. Stars for everyone. Just so good. Thank you. Just absolute gift to my life to spend time with y'all. So good. Very fun. Much yes. Wow.
I'll go ahead and go. Stars to Marty for just trolling Jarvis nonstop on the radio. It was so wonderful. I was laughing so hard. It was great. Yeah, just Marty, or just laughing at losing his shit and inflicting it on Jarvis was, I mean, Jarvis deserves it, let's be honest. For Chaotic, I mean, I don't want to star this. Let's not even started. So I want to say the transformation sequence of Snurb was very good. I loved that description quite a bit. And everything else everyone started already. The one-liners were great. They were fantastically weird, and pure Gilbert Burns. For Jarvis, the fact that I made Jarvis worse is a star. For it's an anti-star because I feel like I failed as a deity because I made Jarvis worse. But for a real star though, I just got my windpipe crushed voice you were doing when you're having that intimate moment with Burns was just choice as fuck. It was very good. That was a very good scene in general. For Steph, fucking amazing work. The NPC work was just so fucking good. The sun was awesome. Sandy was just fucking peak creepy character. It was wonderful. I loved it. Yeah, this has been a blast. I don't have any wishes. I got everything I kind of wanted. I mean, I would love to. It would be, I don't know what I would play in a Blue 42 because don't think I can play a deity. So, but I would play in it.
Okay, so are you done, Erin? Now, well, for me, well, everyone said the things that mm, that for me were most incredible. There's some things that I would like to say is I love stars to Arena Jarvis because they had the catch when I started doing the part of the comedy, and you did it, Kyle. You did it great. I mean, it was like this switch, and when you did the first thing, I started doing more, and it was great, and I had the laugh of a lifetime, you know. Stars also for that wonderful scene between the Snurb, General Chaotic, and Jarvis. All this scene between fight, love, and it was amazing. And well, I mean, for Erin becoming a deity, and the way she became, you know, and how she decided totally accustomed to the character, you know, it was what it should have been. I mean, it's she chose the great finale, you know, and who's gonna be a deity more than the four of us? Obviously, it has to be Dr. Imogen Cerulean. That links me with this great game that you made, Steph. I mean, and the paint the scenes, as Kyle said, they were great, and I'm just trying to well, first, since we hadn't played like in a couple of weeks and or more, I remember in this session how fun is to play Site 42, how good players you are, and welcoming me from, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I haven't played CFB, and you made I mean, it's a great start to play this game, Steph, because if, as Erin said, the NPCs, I mean, I'm thinking about the all the process, you know, and I mean, I just thought one time of Sandy ends up as being of one. I mean, great, great. You made such a free will for the players, you know, and that's incredible. I mean, that's really hard to do as a GM, you know, to incorporate the no, I don't know if it's hard, but it's great. I mean, you did what for me is the essence of a game, you know. I mean, I don't. Jarvis says this, and well, I put it, and then just and like the last session, the snarb appears, you know, and the snarb has all these things, and it's predominant in the narrative, and so and all the voices and the NPCs, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing journey. So thank you for having the pleasure of playing Site 42, Steph.
Yeah, thank you all so very much. I've had some of the most fun I've ever had playing tabletop role-playing games, playing with this group. I was very worried that this game wouldn't necessarily work that well, just because I'm doing so much with it, and I'm very glad that it seems to be working pretty much like as intended. There are things that have been changed from the playtest already, so the next version of the game will look a little bit different, but not by much. And yeah, as far as like stars and wishes go, everyone's already said everything, but I really want to star all of the super creative choices that all of you have made for your characters, and all of the just insane shit that we've all gotten up to. It's been incredible being able to like adapt on the fly and figure all this stuff out with you all, and I'm very glad that my game has been able to handle that so well, because this is like kind of the exact kind of game that I wanted to make, is the game that we just played. So I'm very, very happy, and I'm very excited. I really loved all of the epilogues that everyone gave. I love that Jarvis just became like, yeah, they just gave in to their full basis desires at the end there, and were like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna be the voyeur for the god. And I love that for them, and I hate that for everyone else. I didn't expect apotheosis necessarily to come in this session, but I'm very glad that it did. Was an incredible way for this to end up, and I loved the narration of your ascent into godhood, especially the idea of like your human vessel starting to break at the seams from the divinity being contained within is such a fucking vivid and incredible piece of imagery that I love so much. And for Chaotic, really well done playing two characters through this session. I knew that you could handle it, which is why I gave you the option. And I'm so glad that it ended the way that it did, that everything turned out how it did. You were able to manage both of them incredibly well, and everything came together at the end for such a really unique and cohesive story on both of their parts. And for Marty, I loved all of the weird shit that you would do. It would constantly throw me off, but in the best ways. Like none of this God stuff would have been such a big deal if it weren't for all of the things that you had implanted in throughout the rest of the game leading up to it. You're incredible at characterizing and coming up with things on the fly. It's very impressive to watch, honestly. Like I'm very surprised that you haven't played CFB games before because you just get it like intrinsically. It's incredible. As far as wishes go, once I finish the game fully, I would love to run you guys through a full campaign. But that might not be for a while still, but that is my wish. Yeah. Thank you all so very much for playing my my silly little game. And thank you all for watching, whoever may be. This has been Site 42. I'm hoping that it'll be, at least majority of the stuff will probably be done by the end of the year. I don't know if the game will be fully out by then, but I've got things in the works as well, so we'll see where everything ends up. But I'm very excited and hopeful and thankful to all of you, especially. Yeah, thanks so much.